Let's now bring in Jesse Weber, NewsNation's legal contributor. Jesse, good morning to you. I find it interesting, you have two administrations coming out yesterday and doing what they said they would not do. President Biden pardoning his family when he said he wouldn't, and then Vice President Vance, who has said the violent January 6 criminals wouldn't get pardons, and that looks like that's happening. I think it's fair to ask, are pardons becoming a political tool or maybe even better yet, a protection tool for presidents?
And by the way, I think it's really interesting. They did it towards the end of their respective news cycles.
Right.
So right before Biden left office, right at the end of the day for Donald Trump. Look, here's the problem. So the pardon power is one of those powers that is absolute. It is broad. It is clear, but it can't be abused. And the problem is that you have two different extremes here. So with President Biden, I think the problem there is you gave a preemptive pardon in such a broad manner for people that you say didn't commit crimes, but you don't have enough faith in the justice system with judges and juries and courts and prosecutors that you don't think that's going to be enough of a safeguard. Okay, but then where does that end? Now, does every president moving forward before they leave office going to pardon themselves, their families, their inner circle? Is that just going to be commonplace? That's the problem when we talk about a preemptive pardon. Now, with Donald Trump, this is highly concerning because you're effectively granting a wide sweep pardon for a number of individuals who have committed violent and nonviolent offenses or were accused of that. And look, you're talking about people who took baseball bats and bear spray against police officers. And the last time that you've seen a blanket pardon like this for so many people, there's usually a change in the law or there's a consensus that these people shouldn't have been prosecuted. For example, when Jimmy Carter pardoned draft dodgers, I think we could have all agreed that made sense for the health of the country. This, you can't just say, well, the cases were all bad, the evidence wasn't there. No, this was really done more, like you said, for political purposes, and that's where you get into dangerous territory.
Yeah, the optics of this, just stunning. And what I found interesting, Jesse, was that yesterday Mick Mulvaney made an interesting point on Twitter with these preemptive pardons from President Biden. He said, okay, he pardoned them. That's his prerogative as president to do so. That's fine. But when they get summoned for a hearing in the future, they can no longer plead the fifth. I mean, how will that change the game going forward in terms of getting, information, transparency? What do you think about that?
Mick makes a great point. And when you have a blanket pardon, usually a pardon, right, is supposed to be for specific conduct, for a specific reason. When it's just like everything that's done, everything that happened between this state and this state, we talked about it with Hunter Biden, you're right, it does open you to be more transparent. Now, to be clear, these are pardons for federal crimes, right? Not state charges. So any of these individuals could potentially still be brought up on state charges if they apply. I'm not saying that they do, but of course, it does, that's still something that could open them up to liability. And maybe they say, listen, because there could always be a pending state case, I have to be careful with what I say. But I agree with you. Look, with those blanket pardons, they are effectively immune at the federal level. And that's kind of a scary thing to be thinking about, no matter who you're talking about.
Yeah. I only have a few seconds left. I know this is a kind of a loaded question. Maybe it's a full topic for another day, but we were just talking about immigration earlier. President Trump last night, vowing to at least attempt to end birthright citizenship. Can he do that, Jesse? Is that going to happen?
So no, not on his own, right? An executive order, right? It still has the power of law, but it can't trump what we have in the Constitution, right? That's enshrined in there. You would actually need to amend the Constitution to make that happen. Now, he could definitely try. He could definitely try, but it will be met with an immediate legal challenge. And that is going to be, I'm very confident to say that an executive action won't be able to just change birthright citizenship unilaterally. It will be something that have to be changed at a congressional level. And I don't anticipate that's something that's going to have the support of both sides.
Yeah, a lot of legal and logistical hurdles ahead on the horizon for that one. Thank you for touching on that as well, because a lot of people talking about that this morning. Jesse, see you again soon. Thanks. Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.